time to rename the broadcast back to the original intention, and it's actually a good way to kind of separate the 100th Grand Prix special in regards to this normal proceed. So the Japanese Grand Prix circuit is actually quite a very interesting format. It's one of the only figure of 8 circuits, which means basically it flows in on itself. It is clockwise, though picturing actually suggests otherwise, but it is a clockwise circuit. Very quick and flowing, so it's another one of those tracks where you have to kind of look at where you want to be on the grounds of setup, whether you want a car with straight line speed or a car that can handle itself through the tough complex corners. You'll find that sectors 1 and 2 are very complex in terms of aerodynamics and maneuverability, and then sector 3 is pretty much your power zone that contrast. Because technically speaking, even though sector 1 does make up the main straight, you could still consider sector 3 as being the main straight as well, given that it is a straight line sort of aspect. So pretty much from the exit of Spoon right down through 130R into the Cenarisas. No, sorry, the Cenarisas are actually the first complex. Well, we'll call it the Prost chicane, as it was formerly known for its controversy. And then down the main straight, it's pretty much reliant on your straight line speed. Whereas sectors 1 through the Cenarisas, up Dunlop, through into the Degners, and then into the hairpin is pretty much, and then the proceed up to Spoon is all reliant on your downforce. So it's a very tricky circuit to get a good setup understanding for it. On top of that, last weekend we had the Singapore Grand Prix, which was pretty intense for the most part. I had a really good start actually. I jumped from P5 to P2 at the first turn, and then held on to second for the vast majority of race before those on the alternate strategy of the medium to hard kind of moved their way up through the field. And then of course the late rain with the safety car also kind of put paid to that. Finished P9. Could have been worse, could have been better, but you know, it's just the way things go. It was a good finish compared to Italy, of course. As you would think, we do not participate in Russia for any events this weekend, apart from the F2 Nationals. So that's probably given a lot of people a bit of confusion as to why the regional series have been running at Russia and the nationals have not. The national calendar was shortened in order to ensure a shortened finish for this season, for a Christmas finish, because of the fact that I will not be racing next season, and I will only be acting as a commentator and a steward for next season. So my position as owner of the Transnation eSports will be carried over to Mackenzie Stewart, and he will assemble a new team of committee and all that will sort out the dictation of season 7 next season. Now, whether or not that's going to mean that we'll have a shorter season again for season 7 by maybe a couple of races, that'll be up to the decision of Mackenzie, and that will also be on the decision of Codemasters or whatever the company that is that has taken it over to decide when F1 2021 comes out. And the biggest probably asking question is, will it be PS4, PS5, or will it be PS5 only, which means that a lot of our league will take a hit. As per our regulatory basis, we will always move to the next console if it becomes regulatory. We don't really, unless, let's say, 80% of the league had a PS4, then there would be a chance that Season 8 would run on F1 2020 until that ratio kind of swung the other way to 80% more PS5, and then those unfortunate 20% that don't would inadvertently have to go. So that's kind of all what relies on the 2020 calendar for next season for Season 7 in 2021. Rough estimated start will be about maybe midway of February, maybe the start of February. It depends on how quickly Mackenzie can get up to speed with all the transitioning and all the evaluations, especially considering that registrations will reopen for Season 7 as of the Brazilian Grand Prix conclusion through to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix beginning. The same will be said for Season 3 for the regional series, but they will also be up to the administrators from both divisions of Stuart Leslie and Michael Garone Jr. for the US division, and then Ken Doyle and Joseph Roberts for the European division. For those of the Oceania front, I'm sorry, but I don't even think Mackenzie's going to take the risk again to try and reopen an Oceania division, given how little motivation there is for people to race at the times that we've given. We weren't going to be flexible anymore on it. We gave the opportunity, people didn't take it, so I know without a doubt I never intend to reopen an Oceania division for console, and I know Mackenzie probably won't either, and he'll probably echo those statements when the time comes. As you've probably noticed already, I am doing this by myself at the moment. I was somewhat expecting Joe Roberts to be joining me, but I guess something's come up or something, but there's still plenty of time, so there's still opportunities to come in. If anyone who is watching that is part of this party chat, the TNF lads party chat, is interested in joining me and having a say, whether it be about my 100th Grand Prix weekend or about the racing in general, feel free to join in and have a chat. And if you've got any questions you want to ask away in the comment section in the live chat, and I will do my absolute best to answer any questions that may relate to my season up till now, and or anything in regards to the 100 races that I've competed in. I have a pretty decent memory of it, so I might be able to tell you certain races and how they went and things like that. All I can really tell you statistical wise is 4 race wins, 11 pole positions, and 23 podiums to my name. 2 world titles. Beyond that was a season best of 2nd in Season 3, and last season, well, technically last season doesn't really count. Season 6 doesn't really count because of the fact I was swapping around. I think I finished 12th in Season 6, but 14th was my season worst in Season 5. And that was from a multitude of 0-point finishes throughout a lot of the season. So while I wait on that, I'll give you a bit more feeding onto this shortened calendar. So we go to Japan for this weekend, and the F2 Nationals will be racing at Russia in an hour and a half's time. Hang on, I'm just going to reply to Joe and tell him that I am. So the F2 Nationals will run on today in an hour and a half's time, and then they won't race again up until the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So there will be a handful of back on tracks preceding Japan through to Mexico, then Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Now, to carry on that point, so we go from Japan and we go around USA and go to Mexico for round 8 of the championship, and then round 9 at Brazil, and then we conclude at Abu Dhabi. So it pretty much follows the original calendar. It's just that we dropped Russia and USA as opposed to a vote that signified that we couldn't have all the races because we didn't want to cross over into 2021 for the last 2 races. and then, you know, have people not turn up because of the fact it's the last race of the season. So USA and Russia were voted off, initially because of the reshuffling of the tiers and whatnot. We had to actually omit France as well.